I missed the drop, but how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. I feel like there's an echo. You might have an echo. I'm looking at the soundboard right now, and it looks like there might be an echo. So let me make sure. Unless you guys tell me there's no echo. No echo. All right, cool. Great. Excellent day. What is up, nerds? What is up, nerds? Hot Mess Express coming through as per usual on a Thursday night. This is your weekly Thursday night show. Wrong button. I said it's your weekly Thursday night show. Your weekly Thursday night show. Where we sit back, relax, and hopefully by now you've poured yourself just a little bit of,
more specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
and we talk nerd shop. But more importantly, thank you, Aaron. More importantly, it is Ghostbusters Day weekend. So we are pre-gaming. Of course, with everybody who's joining today, as people decide to join, we'll talk about other stuff too, but it's Ghostbusters Day. So we got to talk about that. Somebody's already locked and loaded, ready to go. I'd have it no other way. And he dressed up for the occasion, so I'm excited to have him on the stream. What's crazy about this year is I'm going to meet a lot of people that I'm friends with that I've never met in person, and that's wild to me. But you know what? Without further ado, first I'll bring in one man, one myth, one legend, and that's myself. Me. Of course, I'm the problem usually. It's me. No, I'm gonna bring in a second person, another man, another myth, another legend. There could be two myths. I mean, he's probably like 9 hours away from me, so I think there's enough room. But the one, the only, Dave's Dimension in the house. Good to see you.
What's good? Now, is that what? Are you wearing dress khakis for GB Day?
I'm doing khakis. I am doing khakis for GB Day. You're doing
It's
black.
the lighter material suit, isn't it?
No, it's the regular flight suit.
Okay.
Regular flight suit. I'm going raw, bro. Just going all in. You're doing black.
You hear that, guys? He said he's going raw, yeah. So that, he's on commando.
You guys keep telling me how hot it's going to be there, so I feel like I don't have a choice. A choice.
This year, I'm in my civvies. I'm going to be wearing like shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, the first year it was 95 plus.
Yep.
And you got to figure all that sun beating against all those glass buildings, focusing on the ground, it heats it up. And that's why you will see dogs in Manhattan with little shoes on, because the asphalt, the concrete just gets so damn hot.
It's true.
Imagine a human walking barefoot. Now, animals, that's another story.
I mean, maybe I will walk barefoot. Who knows?
And I have to compliment you on the placement of your Zedmore pin.
Yeah,
I like it on the sleeve, and I got to commend you, because a lot of people will plaster their suits with pins. I was one of those offenders until recently. When you wear like 20 different pins, you wind up looking like a NASCAR driver.
No, they're just pieces of flair.
Want that?
They're just pieces of flair.
Oh God.
Over at Tchotchkes. Right, Tchotchkes, was that the place? Yeah. Well, hang on. Before we keep diving into this, let's say hi to some folks in the chat. Actually, no, wait, no, you're the first one here, so you get a chance to shine. So, Dave, plug yo shit.
Actually, I'm not going to plug my shit today.
Whoa.
What if anyone who's out there watching this, if you're a Ghostbusters fan and you want to know everything that could possibly be going down when it comes to Ghostbusters and especially GB Day, I want you to go to Facebook and go to the Buffalo Ghostbusters Facebook page.
There you go.
Any piece of information you might want, any questions you might have, like some people, the information is right there in the posts. When it comes to, you know, the events is going to be a 2-hour, I think like a 2-hour event.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be walking tours that are actually being run by the New York City Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not following them, you should definitely check them out. They have an amazing walking tour where they hit up all the sites. And they're just an awesome team, especially if you ever go to New York City Comic-Con. They have an amazing booth. But you can check out Buffalo Ghostbusters at Buffalo G Busters on Twitter, Buffalo G Busters on Instagram. And of course, you can just go to buffaloghostbusters.com and .org, and you'll find links to all the events. You can see Archer has the pull up the Instagram right there. There's a lot of incentives. We have some grab bags that you can get, some mystery bags where you might get you know, you just never know what autographs you're going to pull out of that. There's going to be some prizes. There's going to be I know one thing Archer's after. He wants those Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed skins. And the way that that's going to work is we're actually going to have a Sam Hain that you take a picture with. So there's a whole contest with that. Right there, all the prizes that are being raffled off. There's raffles, there's auctions that the Buffalo Ghostbusters are doing. And we're actually going to be giving away a HasLab Proton Pack, 2 Neutrona wands. And there is a fully 3D printed multi-level firehouse. Whoever gets that, a Proton Pack is cool and all, but this thing is insane. It will fit the RGB Ecto one, which is always a little bit of a big Ecto one. It's got multi-floors. It's like having the movie Firehouse right there.
And
you got a helipad right on the top for Ecto 2.
Well, and I think it was when who's the guy again that run the head Buffalo dude? I'm always forgetting his name.
Dan Lyberg.
Dan, yeah. I think when Dan was on Extraplasm, I think he was saying that this is not going to be at the day, but whoever wins it, they get it printed, they get it shipped to their house. But they can also choose the colors.
Yes.
Of it.
Yes, because you got different colors. Because over the original Real Ghostbusters run, there was several different tones, several different colors for that firehouse. Mm-hmm. If you want something that's more movie accurate, you can choose that. You want something that maybe looks more, extreme Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. He has someone who's going to 3D print this, and plus, I mean, as big as that is, because take a look, you have an Ecto, Kenner Ecto 1 right there. Mm-hmm. Now imagine the size of that firehouse. Yeah. One, even if we had it fully printed, we're not going to stuff that in somebody's SUV. Yeah. The occasional bump in the road and something goes wrong, you know. And screwed. When it does get shipped out, however that's taken care of, it's going to be very meticulously wrapped and protected, and it's going to be amazing. I mean, whoever gets that, I mean, I saw one of those and I'm just like, you would lose it. I mean, that should be a Hasbro. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that was a HasLab, tell me you would definitely go in on that. Come on.
I got to think about that for a second. Hang on. We'll come back to this because we're going to look at GB News to see some updates. Yep. But he printed this as well, I believe.
Yeah, Jason did. Yeah.
So we'll look at that.
He's another great person to follow. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, you got to follow GB News. Yeah.
But let's say hi to the chat. I don't want to make them feel neglected in the excitement that's happening. We have somebody in the chat named Dave's Dimension. Good to see you. Dada Films in the house.
Going back in time.
Yes, exactly. Creativity from the future in the house. Good to see you. As Aaron likes to say, Busta makes him feel good. I think all of us say that from time to time. Rolando in the house. Good to see you. if someone asks if you're a god, you say yes. That's true. It's
Yes.
it's damn true. The man collects in the house. Good to see ya. Jack Porkins in the house from Mexicans in Black, but also he's a Ghostbuster up there in your neck of the woods too. Good to see you. I think first time on stream. There you go. You guys did not hear an echo. That's great. That's great. Dada's already on those trees. Always good to see that. General Kenobi, good to see you. He's on the tequila. There you go. There you go. Everybody saying hi to each other. Rolando sharing those links. I tell you, Rolando's does the Lord's work.
Rolando's multiversal moderator, man. Every stream.
Every stream.
Always there.
Louis in the house, one of the official Nerd Busters. Good to see ya. Patrick in the house. Good to see ya. Louis says, props to all those who will be wearing the gear on GB Day. I'm not a summer person. The heat is no bueno for me. So you were the first one to tell me about not feeling obligated to suit up with everything for the whole day. But it turns out a lot of people are feeling the same way.
Well, I mean, anyone who's gone to a con, they always take that chance. I might bump my pack, and honestly, it goes to weathering the pack. It gives a little bit of story to it, as a prop. But over the past couple of years, it has gotten bigger and bigger, more and more people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people lose parts off their HasLab packs last year. That's always something, because that's the thing. If you leave your HasLab, stock, the ion rod can come right off the arm. The little hoses and grommets come right off. I've seen a few people lose them, and I was quick to grab their wires and hey, you just dropped this off your pack.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people, a buddy of mine, completely took all the removable grommets and have permanent parts on there, which is, it's an extreme way to go about it. But, that's the thing. It's you're going to be bumping not into other people, but people with other packs. When packs collide, that is not a pretty sight always.
Yeah.
So there is that. Plus, you're traveling pretty, you got a little nice distance right there. Now imagine someone who's traveling from there's the South End from overseas over in the UK, around Ireland, UK. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are coming from there. People who've come from Italy, Colombia, South America last year. We had people from all over the world come last year, and that's a real thing. And plus, you got that weight. It's like wearing, you're wearing a backpack, and that your back is going to be roasting.
Yeah,
bring that on there. Yeah. So there's, you don't necessarily have to do that. I've seen people who've done khaki or cargo shorts, and maybe a loose shirt. Put your name badge on. You could do very very casual GB wear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, you're right. Everybody here is just kind of pressed up on each other, and you pointed out that it gets bigger every year, and even watching multiples of these videos, over the years, there's just more and more people going.
And another thing is, with all the ectos this year, I think we're trying to organize it so that they're going to be roped off, but it's a known thing. People with Proton Packs, they turn around, they don't always. Where they're not aware of what's behind you.
Yeah.
And, you're not aware of what's behind you, and, you can easily scuff up somebody's glossy, beautiful ecto.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to be that person. You just feel bad, but, also the owners, they'll let's be honest, they'll probably be a little less than happy, but, they also have to know that it happens though,
It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword for sure. Yeah. But I love it how Porkins points out, like you said and other people said, bumping the pack. It's just getting real weathering, all natural weathering.
My Bennett Kent, it's got a lot of scuffs all over it, but it adds character to it. It tells a story to it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, here you go. Look at that. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. But even,
Chris is a great guy. He does that art. The guy, you saw in the John Belushi style Blues Brother outfit.
Yep.
He does that art. Chris Sorrentino on Facebook and Instagram. He does amazing art. I mean, some of these packs are amazing art. I mean, take a look at that.
Yeah. No, that's good. I kind of want to get one of these. I've seen it a couple times. But yeah, absolute madness. So, I mean, this, like you said, great. And I think that's the hard part is like, you know, like I've been doing the build here on the channel, like Anthony's been doing his build. And it's one of those things where like, this is like the one place where like you kind of want to like dress to the nines. You want to dress your best, but
yeah,
you guys all bring up valid points. And unlike New York Comic Con, I can't just walk inside and get an air condition break. Like I'm just outside the whole time. So very valid points.
I mean, if anything, I suggest, you know, like you have like a light backpack, or, you know, if you still can get your hands on one of these. I got this from a friend a couple years back.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me switch.
Little drawstring.
Oh yeah,
Proton Pack. You know,
I like that.
You throw like a Yeti, with water in it. You know, keep beverages cool. You know, because that's going to be the key thing. Is it's probably going to be 80s or 90s, probably in New York City. Staying hydrated is one of the biggest things. Wearing the lightest suits you can, because even standing around for an hour or two in New York, it's just the building right across from the firehouse is an all glass building. The sun beating on that then reflects, you know, or should I say deflects. There you go, Ghost Beacon. He's someone who's always there every year. Great guy to follow.
So this is the Frozen Empire premiere
yeah.
or the day of, and I felt like even this, you know, as far as like bodies goes, it's pretty comparable to GB Day. So if you get this kind of turnout for just the premiere, you know, now you have people didn't necessarily know when the premiere was, because, you know, like days were jumping around and
so my friends right there.
There you go. But this day, like, people knew what the day was, so people have been planning this for forever.
And there's Ectotech's beautiful Ecto 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the Germany guys who had the motorized mini buff.
There were people there from Germany, yeah.
Yep. They make the best stuff, I swear. They make some of the sickest gear, sickest props.
Kenobi likes that bag that you were showing off.
Yeah, I actually got that in a deal. Someone on Facebook was selling. Actually, I think that was the person I sold my Back to the Future Proton Pack to. He had a collectible shop, and he was selling some Back to the Future stuff. And I bought a couple DeLoreans off of him, and he said, "Well, you're a Ghostbuster fan. I have something in here. I'll throw it in there." And it was that.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm like, oh, cool.
It's funny, in the in hyping up this live stream, I almost put Back to the Future music on the real Ghostbusters going, because I'm like, that's just a crossover we needed, you know, that we never got.
There was fan fiction back in the day, though.
Yes,
because that was the inspiration for my pack. Was someone had wrote a story about, you know, because you know how Ray talks about, well, you've never worked in the private sector, and it was a story that it was him and Doc Brown working in the private sector.
I'm actually gonna pull up a video that showed the first time I heard that from Ghostbusters Northwest, which I used these videos to learn like about the lore of like how the tech works, and kind of was like hoping that as the movies went on, they would like borrow from this. So I feel like these videos are great. So I'm like, you might as well just make.
Are those the vintage videos? Yes, I've seen those. They're really amazing.
Here we go. I'll play one right now, and we'll see which crossover is in this video. I forget which one it is, because in every one of them they have an 80s crossover. So let's see which one this one is. Actually, I think that one might be echoing. If somebody in chat can confirm. I'm gonna see.
Sounded pretty good.
I think to us it was good, but I was looking at my my meter, and it looked like it may have been echoing. So I'll play it. We'll see if somebody says anything.
Proton Pack. We all know it. We all love it. The iconic Ghostbuster technology was invented by founding members Dr. Egon Spengler and Dr. Ray Stantz in the fall of 1984, combining cutting-edge science with fringe supernatural research and forever creating cognitive dissonance in atheists and theists alike. But how does it work? The Proton Pack is an unlicensed nuclear accelerator powered by the radioactive isotope carbon-14. And just like a Twinkie, has a half-life of 5,730 years. These power cells are contained within the fuel rods inside the booster car, fueling both the Proton Pack and the nightmares of countless environmental protection agents. Just kidding. We love the environment, which is why we dedicate our lives to protecting it from the destructive wrath of malevolent demigods. The fuel rods provide power to the accentuators, which regulates that power to the primary power distributor, or PPD, distributing it to the ion arm, hydrogen gas actuator, and flux capacitor. Wait, flux capacitor? Silly me. I'm getting my iconic 1980s technology mixed up. I meant cyclotron. Although some speculate that while visiting the American College of Technical Science and Complicated Math, Dr. Spengler and Dr. Stantz acquired the cobalt-14 fuel rods, used in the original 4 proton packs, from Dr. Emmett Brown, after he discovered they didn't provide the sufficient 1.21 gigawatts required to power his own invention. But back to the proton pack. The ion arm is the pack's brain, housing the CPU that monitors the production of protons. The hydrogen is stored within 2 refillable containers that each hold 20 liters of gas. The PPD provides power to the hydrogen gas actuator, sucking gas into the generator where it's ionized and is sent to the cyclotron. The cyclotron is powered by the PPD, delivering power simultaneously through the injectors that connect to the terminal at the bottom of the cyclotron and directly into the terminal at the top. Once the ionized hydrogen is pumped into the cyclotron, an oscillator alternates the current between 2 electrodes so that the negatively charged hydrogen is attracted to the positive electrode and repelled by the negative one, causing the particle to spiral faster and faster, as indicated by the cyclotron lights, stripping the electrons and sending an accelerated proton to the emitter, officially known as the neutrino-wand. However, it's referred to by different names depending on the region, such as proton gun, particle thrower, or as Canada likes to call it, that ghost hoser, eh? A neutrino wand cannot fire a particle stream until 3 switches are activated. The first switch turns on the oscillator, but does not pull protons from the cyclotron. For that to happen, the negative electromagnets within the wand must be activated by the second switch. These attract the protons from the cyclotron into the wand, but prevent them from discharging out the barrel. The third switch is a safety, preventing accidental discharge of the proton streams. Only when all 3 switches are activated is the user able to fire the proton stream. This is done by pressing the intensify trigger, reversing the polarity of the electromagnets within the wand, as well as activating a third positively charged magnet at the rear, propelling the protons forward and discharging out the barrel at an incredible velocity. The proton stream, in reality, isn't a single stream, but a 2-way energy exchange, with protons shooting out and a counterflow of particles being pulled back in. But why protons? Well, after something dies, be it human, animal, plant, and on rare occasions large cultural fads like disco or grunge, it leaves behind PKE, or psychokinetic energy. PKE has the ability to negatively charge the particles around it in order to manifest and spook the shit out of you. Let's take a look at this hydrogen atom. It consists of 1 proton and 1 electron. When it comes into contact with PKE, it is ionized, causing it to attract other ions and bond with them. Depending on the rate of attraction, it can manifest as anything, from a simple mist to shoeless Joe Jackson in a cornfield. When these apparitions interact with the physical world, they often leave behind a byproduct of negatively charged ionized particles known as ectoplasm, or as the kids call it these days, slime. This is when the protons come into play. Like an emotionally damaged individual, the negatively charged ghosts are attracted to their positively charged polar opposite, which means when a positively charged proton makes contact with the bonded negatively charged ions of a ghost, it attracts the balanced electron of the PKE, breaking down the psychokinetic energy, allowing that ghost to be weakened and eventually ensnared, like a toxic codependent relationship, where it can be contained within a ghost trap. How does a ghost trap work? Well, that's a lesson for another day. Until then, if you see something strange in your neighborhood, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters Northwest. On call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to serve the Pacific Northwest supernatural elimination needs.
I just want to hit. It's such a good video. It is such a good video. I love that. I love that. Yes, this should be HR mandatory. But imagine how cool that would have been if, like, we got those crossovers, even if they were like subtle, even if they were just like subtle.
I mean, imagine the amount of time that they took to kind of like research and kind of like, okay, let's create a plausible instructional video. I mean, they really planned it out, going from part to part to part to part. I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of it was GB fans forums.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of nerds over the decades have so, oh, well, this part does this and this part does that. But I mean, it's great to kind of see it in an actual medium.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you think about it, Hasbro, the ones behind the Plasma series with the wand, they had to have watched this.
Yes.
Because remember, you have to have all three toggles, otherwise it won't fire. And if you don't do it in a certain, lower, upper, and then left, if you don't do that, then it won't start up at all.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just great when fans create something that it's fun, it's entertaining, educational in some respects.
Oh yeah. And it's great because it's one of those moments where, like, we all have those, right? We'll be watching like either you can have a scientist on Joe Rogan, or you can have some sort of movie where there's a scientist on there and they're saying a bunch of big words, and we're just like, yeah, totally, yeah, definitely sounds right.
Then,
yeah.
And then you get what is it, Neil Tyson?
Yeah, and he's like, no.
See, I wish like all science teachers were him, because it would have been so much better for us growing up.
I actually had a science teacher who got fired, biology, I would say. And he was like, I'm sure he was a nice guy, but he was one of those teachers that had zero control over the classroom. And one day he let it slip to somebody that he believes in aliens. Mr. Kason is his name.
Did he have his hair like really like all over the place, like that Ancient Aliens guy?
I don't know, but his hair did go vertical. He was a black guy with like a flat top almost.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. I mean, this is at this point so long ago. But he let it out to one class that he believed in the aliens, and for the rest of like the week, people just would go in the class and be like, tell us about the aliens. Tell us about the aliens. And he's like, no, I can't tell you. I can't tell you about the aliens. Like, they'll get me. And we're just like, tell us about the aliens. And he's like, all right. He's like, I'll tell you, but if I tell you, like, we gotta do the classwork. We gotta do the classwork. And everybody'd be like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll do the classwork. And
never got any work done.
Never got work done. That's why I think he got fired. I feel bad he got fired as an adult now. But he was like the running theory was humans, we don't have the brain capacity or the brain power to come up with the things that we come up with. So like us talking right now over the internet, he's like, we don't have that mental capacity. So literally all of our technology has been curated for us and given to us by aliens that have come to Earth. The other part of that is we don't have the capacity to come up with science fiction. So all of these like sci-fi movies and TV shows,
Science fact.
they're science fact in some sort of way, including the one that always sticks with me, which is Predator. He was like, the Predator alien and the way it looks is 100% real. It's a species of alien that we have a deal with. The United States has a deal with that alien, and they feed on humans. So we give them humans to eat on a regular basis, and that's how we get the tech, and they don't starve to death.
A symbiotic relationship.
He definitely belongs on a Joe Rogan episode. If I ever get famous, you guys got to hold me to this. If I ever get famous, I need to find that man and give him a platform, because he might need it. he might need it at this point.
Well, hell, you could probably try and find him now and give him a platform. That might be the viral content that shoots you into a superstardom.
Or gets him fired again.
Yeah. Sure. But hey.
Go either way. You mentioned Hasbro, so I wanted to bring up the old Hasbro site. And I'm surprised that they haven't restocked the Afterlife wand. I'm not gonna lie. But they do have the 84 back in stock, and I did not know that.
Yeah.
You did not pick this one up, right? You skipped it.
Not yet.
This should have been on the sale. It should have been on the sale. A lot of this should have been on the sale.
I mean, the 84 I definitely want. I want to have that at least at some point. I mean, usually my daily driver is the Afterlife, but I got the 3D printed grips for it.
Yes.
I've done the mods to it. By the way, anyone who's out there who's doing the mods for Frozen Empire, skip the 3D printed barrel.
Oh, you don't like the barrel?
It's broken twice. I've repaired it a couple times. I'm actually going to be ordering the metal one. There's the aluminum one you can get on Etsy. Yep. So I'm going to be switching over to that at some point.
Interesting. Because I have a 3D printed one from Scolari Brothers.
Yeah. I have that one. But it's broken off a few times. I've glued it together. Well, also full disclosure, it got knocked around, so it broke off. I still had the barrel extended, but it still broke off.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, it is plastic, regardless of who makes it. I mean, you got to figure your mediums. I mean, enough pressure, anything can break. Just about. Sure. Right. So.
You sure you're not actually ghostbusting? Is something you want to tell us?
I can't confirm nor deny.
He's like, I'm out here. All my stuff's getting beat up. It's getting crushed. Like, you actually are doing a damn thing.
Plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, but not the Scolari Brothers. They make some great items.
Yeah.
And I think they might be one of the first to come out with the Janine's gauntlets. Well, I call it a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Or Neutrona blaster, the hand blaster.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I definitely want to make at some point. But down the line.
Yeah. I have it on my desk. SCO.
Yeah. But no, the barrel. See, one thing I wondered is it also depends on like maybe the type of PLA you're using, the type of medium you're using too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'm going to go for the metal one.
I mean, that's gonna be dope to see. Am I not following them? Well, I can link them later.
Are you looking them on Instagram or?
Yeah. That's right. But that's that I would totally get a metal one for sure. Like that would be pretty badass, I gotta say. You also skipped on this, right? Because you have the Afterlife.
Which? Oh, the Ecto. Yes.
The Ecto, yeah.
I skipped on the Ecto because $60 for it. I think when the Afterlife one came out, I think it was only around maybe $49, $50.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds right.
So this is about it's more. It's definitely more. but also I don't like the fact that you can't fit all 4 figures into it.
Yeah.
So, and plus, we haven't actually seen the figures inside the Ecto. Now, if they show us a video, now we know through social media, thanks to GB News, Hasbro is going to be doing some kind of a Ghostbusters release tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Saturday. It could be the release of, oh, you can pre-order the figures now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing a lot of people say. I don't know for sure, but I think that's a pretty safe bet. Who knows? Through social media lately, there's been the hints about, oh, Netflix is going to have the animation. Sony animation is kind of going to come out, so maybe we'll get a little drop or teaser trailer for that show. Who knows? But for me, it's like I like the concept of a 3 3/4 figure, especially with how good they made the figures look.
Yeah.
And it's a nice throwback to the old G.I. Joe O-rings.
Yeah.
I would definitely be,
for me, it's going to be price.
I would be interested in getting the figures, depending on the figures and the accessories and what the overall price is, or if they do like, hey, you can get all 4 for this price. It depends. It might wind up being like, maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll wait to see if it eventually hits the warehouse, or there's supposed outlet deals, which really, I mean, not really that much of an outlet, but
I want to. So we've talked about this before, where we're all being more selective on what we buy and all of that. But one of the things that we've also talked about is buying stuff that like you want more of. So if that 4-pack comes out, and that 4-pack is like max $40, like maximum, like I'll buy it just to be to support the line. So maybe there's more stuff. But if they pull $50-$60 on that thing,
realistically, I think we're going to see that. Realistically,
you think 50-60?
I'm thinking so. I mean, because you got to figure, as far as like what does the average Star Wars vintage 3 3/4 goes for?
$20. Yeah.
Okay, so you got to figure, okay, we're gonna, those figures, they might have like a gun or a little lightsaber that comes with it, right? Whereas, Proton Pack, maybe goggles, maybe a little PKE for the figure to hold. So I mean, we're probably going to be looking close to that. I mean, all 4, you're probably looking maybe $80 or $90 potentially speaking. I mean, there's the potential for that. I mean,
you're not wrong.
That's not the case.
Yeah,
I would love for it. I think the sweet spot, $15 a piece, but still, you're talking $60 for 4 figures.
Yeah,
realistically, because I mean, when was the last time you said you saw a $10 figure and a $10 figure that actually looked good?
I mean, you only like $10 figures now are Funko Pops.
Yeah,
that's it.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I'm not hating on Hasbro with that, but I'm just thinking realistically, you kind of have to take a look at it. I mean, if they're selling vintage, like Star Wars, the 3 3/4 figures for about $15-$20, it's Hasbro. It's still Hasbro that does that. So you would think that they would take that same approach, unless they are willing to take lower pricing, just to kind of pique their interest. Because let's be honest, other than those Fright feature figures, what have we really gotten?
Yeah,
I mean, they did a small little line of the were they 5 or 4 inch figures for Afterlife, but they only gave us a few figures out of that. So I mean, I would love it if it was more affordable, so that it was easier for the masses. But this is Hasbro.
Well, I mean, these being 14
game company first.
That's true. I mean, these being $14.99,
I love that.
I feel like they should be like, all right, let's do them solid $10 each in the box. Yeah, I feel like it's the way to go.
I mean, you know what they could do. I mean, these are $15 a piece, and I really hope that they kind of follow suit with these new figures. It'd be great. But imagine if they did. Now, they like for example, take a look at McFarlane. McFarlane will do individual figures, but once in a while he'll give us a 4-pack in a nice case.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
something like this. Give us the Kenners like in the old. I don't know if you remember, there was these carrying cases you could get for like the real Ghostbuster figures, and they did stuff for like G.I. Joe and Transformers. They could do something like that as a throwback, charge a little more. Us collectors, we would go insane over that. We would like, here, just take my wallet. Just here, please take it.
You mean this one here?
Yeah, like something like that. I mean, could you imagine if Hasbro did that and it included the figures?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like, I know people who would drop 100 or more for something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Because one, you don't have to worry about trying to display the figures. Like you could just leave them in that case. The case opens up. It's an automatic display, you know? I think something like that would be great. I still have yet to open mine. And you know, I'm an unboxer. I haven't been able to bring myself to do it because one, I'm kind of worried about, will Egon's tie survive? Because I have an original Egon, and of course his tie did not survive.
That is the most common break on the figures I've seen. Is like,
yeah,
people are always showing off that.
I am also disappointed there was no Janine Fright feature.
Yeah, maybe they announced that too.
Because we had her back in the day.
I just want to show everybody, this is what Dave was talking about when he mentioned the McFarlane multi-packs. Like, they usually come in a cool display case.
Like, I think the one that's a cool one, and also the Batman Beyond one they did.
Oh, yeah.
That one was pretty cool with the build, because you had all the Build-A-Figure parts and everything in there.
But, you know, it's weird. And what's up, KO? Good to see you. Welcome. I don't know where I fall on this sometimes, because here it is. You can buy this awesome set and you have all the figures in there. But like, what if I had already bought some of these figures? Now I don't want to buy this set because I'm getting duplicates. I don't need it.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the way that NECA does it, where when they do the Turtle 4-packs, which they're probably done doing that, but when they were doing those, it was simultaneous. So they were like, hey guys,
here's the option.
We're doing a 4-pack release, but just so you know, we're telling you now, 2-packs are dropping after this. So up to you. You want to go on all 4, you want to wait for the 2-packs. Like this one, it's like we could assume we're getting individual package ones, but then they change things. Articulation changes, paint changes, wire capes come out of nowhere.
Yes.
Like, it kind of screws you. Let's take a look at the firehouse that we were talking about.
What is Wi-Fi?
Oh. Gotta wait for that skip button to pop up. Jason has the money. We can skip the ad.
Jason's great at 3D printing.
Yeah.
This video's
Hold on, you gotta.
Not only did Miller.
There you go. We had a commercial for a moment. It passed through.
Oh, I had a commercial.
Oh yeah, no, you're Jason's thing.
Oh, yeah.
He made those files available to print that real Ghostbusters Proton Pack, but recently he started a brand new project, which, if you couldn't already tell by all my ramblings in this video, is an updated take on the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters. And while I thought I would have a bit more of a gap in between big print projects, no, I'm going to jump right from that Proton Pack to this Ghostbusters Firehouse. Because after seeing the initial concept of it, I knew this was something I needed to make. This was something I need here in the Ghostbusters News collection room. And that's despite not having any room left, really, in this room. Which I mean, it could be a problem, because I think this firehouse is going to be big. It's going to be a firehouse. And this is going to include multiple floors, likely a slime grate, the front doors, a pole, and so much more. Of course, once those files, they're ready, I'm going to download them, I'm going to 3D print them, and I'm going to add them right into this Ghostbusters Firehouse, because I cannot wait to finish this. But being that we have the main structure pretty much finished here, I'm sure quite a few of you're curious as to how this firehouse, it scales alongside popular Ghostbusters toy lines. Well, it just so happens that Hasbro's new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire Ecto-1, it just arrived at the Ghostbusters News headquarters today. So here's what that inside the firehouse looks like, alongside Phoebe and the disgusting green spud.
So I think these figures are slightly bigger than 375. So the 375s and even the Ecto might even look a little bit better in here.
Mm-hmm.
Slimer. Now, if you want to go old school, and of course we have to go old school, it's Ghostbusters after all, here's some of the Kenner classic toys, including the Ecto-1 inside the firehouse. Not only is there tons of room still on the ground floor with the Ecto-1 resting inside, but when you have to answer that call, when you have to drive through those front doors, check it out with that roof seat attached, it pulls through with absolutely no issues. I guess while we're at it too, let's go ahead and bring in Hasbro's Plasma Series line. Is it 1-to-1 scale? Well, no, but I think it totally works and creates an incredible display piece or backdrop for action figure photography.
Yeah, it does the job.
And given that I do so many unboxings and reviews here on the channel, this custom playset is likely going to be used one way or another in future review videos. I did mention it earlier in the video, but I just want to reiterate here, if you yourself, you would like to start your very own Ghostbusters Firehouse build, all these files, they're available on Ghostbusters Gear's Patreon page.
Yeah, he makes great stuff too. I mean, well, he made that, but seeing his prints on Instagram is just insane.
Yeah, insane. I mean, it's now that my printer's up and running, I'm probably going to be subscribing to that Patreon.
Yeah,
that pack is just. But I mean, right next, you see that image, right? That wallpaper he had. I want the RGB containment units. I want to be able to print that thing. I've seen people put lights to it. It looks insane.
Yeah, it's sick. I feel like that was a real miss on Frozen Empire, like them somehow being like, "Oh, the unit has filled up. We've got a new one," and then they go up to a room like this. Man, that was sick.
Especially if they would have made it look like it did in real Ghostbusters, that would have just like game over. That would have been just.
There it is. That's the pack. Yeah.
Make it large enough so it can actually open up and you can take Stay Puft right out of it, like they did in
that would be great. That would be great. Yeah. So here it is in black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. You were saying something.
Yeah. No, I was just saying like the pack. I mean, even the pack looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you could print it in any color, and you could always like hand paint it too if you really wanted to.
True.
To change it up.
True.
But yeah,
this is what needs to be the next Spirit line. Spirit needs to really walk into RGB. Yeah.
Easy. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, something like this, you can still use the same electrics.
Yep.
Same electrical, and just to do it in different colors, you could do like the black, you do the blue, like you have here. They could easily do that.
Yeah.
They could easily do it, and I think they would sell it. Us fans, we would just buy it, and because Spirit knows, we need to release Proton Packs. That's why they brought out the 100, the 1-to-1 scale. Yeah. And they've been improving things on it. I mean, they know we'll buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my prediction for this year. I think Spirit this year is going to drop an RGB. Because they need a new pack this year. They need a new pack. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're going to keep selling the full size. But yes, I mean, last year was like peak Ghostbuster excitement. Like right now, I mean, we all acknowledge like we're going to be going on like the downhill portion until we get a TV show announcement. But like, you might as well just drop a pack. Drop a new one.
I was thinking of actually getting the 1-to-1 scale pack, which is like what, something like 250, 240 or something like that. But now I got my 3D printer up and running and I'm able to print stuff. And I'm like, well, I can just print my pack and I can customize it even more then.
Yeah.
So that's the route I'm going to take. I mean, even all the filament that it'll cost to assemble it, it's still going to be cheaper than
Way
250.
less. Yeah. Yeah.
And I would gut the Spirit electrical stuff out of it and put GB fans or Frankengeek in there. So that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm. This is cool. This is why I want a house. You can do cool shit like this.
There you go.
Man. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. I mean, you're also selling me on the freaking 3D printer, man.
I mean, 3D printers, I mean, it all depends on the route you go. I'm a big proponent of the the self priming, because the self leveling printers, because you don't have to do that. It does it on its own. The one I have an app on it. I can send a file through the app to it because it's Wi-Fi based.
Mm-hmm.
I have a camera. I can monitor it. I can pause it if I want to. But I also tell people, if you're interested in 3D printing, wait a year or two, because you know what? There's going to be there's going to be printers that are going to be even better in a year or two from now, or the ones that are out right now will go down in price.
It's
because the new models.
It's crazy. You saying that literally reminded me of CDs. Like I remember, getting a CD burner. It was like $250. That was like all my freaking money, and I felt so cool when I got that CD burner. And then not even like a year later, that thing was outdated.
Yep.
Pull that back up again. Nice.
I mean, something like this only takes maybe 5 or 6, maybe 4 or 5 hours to print this.
Yeah.
So.
What's up, Sal?
And it fits the ion arm perfectly.
Do you have to take off the existing ion arm, right? Or does that slide over?
There is one that slides, but this is no. I have to actually take it off. There's screws on here that you would actually connect and bolt onto. But here's the ion arm. Got the replacement cover for it, so it's got the actual holes on there, and it just goes on there. Not coming off unless I actually pull it off.
Yeah,
the holes are just perfect on there. And this is from Right Coast Creative on Etsy. You can buy the file, which I
Scolari
did.
Brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it fits as soon as I put it on for the first time, I was like, geez, it's like a freaking glove. It actually fits a little bit better than I think on a HasLab, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I watching the fellows walk around, ComCom with that thing.
Oh, yeah.
They were dropping stuff all left and right.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I plan on replacing a lot of the grommets on mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you I don't think I've asked you this question. If you were to pick the next HasLab, if we get another one, would it be the Firehouse, or you think you'd go for something else? I realized I was not sharing the screen, and I was like mesmerized by something, and you guys couldn't see it.
As someone who I never had the opportunity for the Kenner Firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
The only firehouse in the collection I have is actually one I bought for my wife, which was the Playmobil. And nothing against that. I mean, it's a great one. I think we got it for like $60 or $50. Like, it was actually on sale. I've seen it go for like $150, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you can easily knock over the stuff. Like, I've actually thought about getting like little magnets to kind of keep everything in place.
Mm-hmm.
But for like that 3D printed firehouse, that right there, I think that's what I think that could be the next evolution in HasLab. And what I mean by that is, when have we ever gotten an actual play set, with the exclusion of Jabba's barge?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I mean, it's always, it's a vehicle of some kind, or it's a prop, or like we get the Sentinel, or we get Galactus, or we get Giant Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hasbro, do a test of a firehouse Or how about the X Mansion? You could get like the Danger Room. I mean, there's things you could do. Maybe not the upper part of the X Mansion, but the lower part, or give us Asteroid M or something like that, or you know, Fantastic Four sets. I maybe not Fantastic Four, but like hell, they could have done the Avengers building.
Yeah.
When the first Avengers came out, you know, they could have done something like that, but they really haven't. But like, I think there's room. Like hell, if you did a GI Joe base in a Cobra, like the Cobra was at the Terradrome, give us stuff like that. We will pay for it. But you know what's happening right now? People on Etsy are releasing 3D upscaled files of the Classified series figures, or not their figures, but their vehicles.
Yeah.
And there's even the oil platform.
Yes, I saw that.
Which a buddy of mine is trying to get me to be able to 3D print. I have to figure out how to slice it because my printer bed is just slightly smaller than what the designer created, but I'm sure it's doable. But I mean, that's the thing with like 3D printing, it opens up a door that, you know, hey, if you're not going to do it, we're going to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was no Frozen Empire Plasma series, and I showed you the figures that me and my friends wind up doing, you know. You know, the fans are, you know, if the fans can't get it from the, you know, manufacturers, then we're going to try and upscale it, or we'll try and, you know, mash it up and make it ourselves.
Got the tools, got the talent.
But I would love to see a Firehouse. Honestly, I know a lot of people in the community have talked about an 84 pack. You know, give us a proper 84 pack. I mean, yes, there were people who took the Afterlife because we weren't sure if we would get future packs.
Right.
Let's be honest. So there are some people where they bought extra, like they bought maybe 1 or 2 packs, one to do 84, one to have Afterlife, right? And you could even, I mean, hell, I could take my you know, my HasLab, and I could strip it down and paint it black and, you know, make it look 84 if I want to. But it'd be cool if they made a pack that kind of gave you the options. How about do another run of the pack, but it's a pack where you can, you got the option of, you want to do 84? Do 84. You want 82 with the ribbon and different knobs? You know, maybe if they'd say, hey, you can buy the base HasLab, but for an additional cost, we're going to include whatever theme you want. Or say, hey, you want an 84 pack, you want an 89 pack, or you want an Afterlife pack? Select this, and basically it's the same core pack, but just with a different set of accessories. I would love to see something like that, but I don't think that they would go that route. Ideally, we have 2 in the box, which I can't wait for. I will lose my mind when I get mine.
Yeah.
I think the next progression is, okay, we got a PK, we got a Ghost Trap. The next progression would be to do, like you said, maybe an RGB pack. Maybe an RGB pack. I don't, honestly, because of how the fandom has been divided, I don't know if an answer to call would fly, would be successful.
You know, I think that one actually would. I think it would back. I think that even though people shit on that movie, I think the fact that it's just different and it's a version we haven't had yet, I think it could back. I think it would make it. That'd be, I mean, let's pull that up just so people can see what that looks like.
Excuse me, Archer. I have a question from Mrs. Dimension.
Yeah.
She wants to know if Mrs. Archer is coming, and are you and her gluten free or are you gluten safe?
No allergies.
No allergies
on anything, and sadly, she's not coming.
She's not.
She's not. I just need to know how to package this.
Okay, because she's providing you with the care package when we see you at the firehouse.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm excited to finally meet her.
The hotel.
Yeah, she was going to, but there was a baseball game she wanted to go to. She brought tickets for it, and then I didn't realize it was the same weekend. But this is the pack that we're talking about, the Answer the Call pack, or 2016 pack.
Listen, one of my teammates, he loves the pack, and I love it too because I love how, I mean, it looks like it was patched together.
Yes.
It looks rough, and I love that kind of a look.
Yeah.
I mean, even the trap. I like the trap. I wasn't a fan of their weird PK their PKE that just looked kind of
Oh,
like a
yeah.
kid toy.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the PK, but the other gear I thought was great. You know, I mean, I've seen people do different color lights for their version of the cyclotron,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's something you can easily build yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you get like a strainer for the cover. You know, you get like a
Yes.
metal strainer for the cover. Um, this, I mean, the design of this pack was, I think, it was kind of like in the vein of a rougher version of the Extreme Ghostbusters pack,
Mm.
along that kind of rougher look, and I dig it, man. I mean, I like that rough kind of patched together stuff. Because I mean, come on, if you're a Ghostbuster, you know your stuff is going to get thrown around, get mashed up, and you're going to find, oh, I don't have all these parts. Let me take whatever I have lying around and patch it together. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of the essence of Spirits Unleashed because you can mod your pack, your uniform, however you want.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to wear a flight suit. You want to wear, you know, like a Bubble Goose vest with a t-shirt and shorts and flip flops. Then hey, you could do that. You can rock it any way you want.
Yeah.
But I just think that the majority of the fandom may not fly to it. I would love to see it happen, and I think I probably would go in on it. I can't wait for this.
What will be your price point?
Okay, see, the price point is going to be a little bit more difficult because there's a lot of lights on that pack. You know, with the Afterlife pack, we had the cyclotron and we had the power cell. Those are the only working lights on there. We did have different sounds in it. We had switching between 84 and Afterlife, and of course, then we had the connector hose to go with the wands. So I mean, there is that. But all the extra lights, I think, might cost a bit extra. You know.
Yeah.
So there is a trade off. If it, you know, but hey, they might be able to do it at the same price point. If they are, cool. If not, if it's going to be higher, then it's going to be more difficult.
Because you're also increasing on a franchise release that is not the most popular. So you're kind of really gambling if you go above the 400.
But I mean, I'll say this: I would like to see people look at Answer the Call in 20 or 30 years from now, and look at it as a cult classic.
Yeah,
because I mean, there's things in the fandom and in canon. I mean, some people didn't like some of the stories that they did in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, the art style in the Frozen Empire comics, the covers look great.
Yes. Yeah.
The art style inside the books, not so much.
Shameless plug. Anthony's reviewing those on the channel.
There you go. I mean, take a look at the covers, which I am that nerd that I had to get the variants.
Nice.
You know, I had to get the variants, and I think the art on the books are great on the covers. It's just that inside, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was a major disappointment right there. You know? But I think like if they did an RGB pack, like you said, Spirit should do that. I think if they did an RGB pack, a HasLab RGB pack, I think that would be insane. People would lose their minds. They would definitely sell it.
Yeah.
That would definitely sell. I would even be interested in Extreme Ghostbusters, but again, that is a very that's like a super niche. Because there's thousands, maybe millions of people who have never even heard of Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and I've tried to rewatch it, and it's not my jam.
I mean, you know, and that's the thing, because for some people, it didn't have the same vibe as real Ghostbusters did.
And it was the animation I didn't like. That era of
Oh,
cartoon.
the Godzilla / Men in Black.
Yes. Wow, look at that. I hated that animation style. I couldn't watch any of those shows. I tried, and I was just like, it just didn't.
They were trying to go for like a grittier kind of a look.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they brought back, Dave Coulier and everyone else, the surviving voices for that one episode, that 2-part story arc that they did, they look terrible. I mean, obviously they tried to get as close as they could to how they looked, but unless you have the same animators or you're someone who can draw in that same style, you're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were going to choose a HasLab, I probably would lean either towards I would love to have that firehouse.
Yeah.
But, and I know this is a big ask, I would love to have a firehouse, but with the, give us a basement. Give us a basement with the containment unit, but then maybe you're sacrificing one of the floors in order to do that. Or if you included the containment unit as like an addition to, I don't know. I think to do it the way I would love to see it, I think might be too big of an endeavor for Hasbro. But here's another question: what, with them scaling back as they have, what's the future of HasLabs?
I think that continues.
Do you think they're going to focus on HasLabs?
Yeah.
For the most part, that they're going to maybe push. Do you think they'll dig a little deeper into them? Maybe.
Oh, and I just wanted to answer Porkin's question. So he asked us how old are we when 84 came out. I was -1 when that movie came out.
Well, I was born in 1978.
So there you go. At least one of us got to see it.
I was 5 because I'm an October baby. So I wasn't 6 yet.
Did you see it in the theaters?
No, I saw it. I did not see it in the theaters till I was an adult. But we watched the VHS. I watched the VHS until it wore out. We had to get another one.
There you go. I think the first movie I ever saw in theaters was Little Mermaid. I don't remember like any part of going to the theater to see that, but I remember like being in preschool talking about the movie, but like I couldn't tell you what we were talking about. But the first in theater experience I remember vividly, my favorite movie of all time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990. And I was 5 when that came out. And that's like full memory. I remember waiting online, the line going around the theater. I remember like the entire car ride home, like going like this with my shirt to simulate like when Mikey's like, hey, wait for me. It's the guy. So good. So good. So that's what I was wondering. Like when you said you were 5, I was like, oh, I wonder if you remember, if you did go the way that I remembered going to Turtles when I was 5.
My first movie in a movie theater was Gremlins.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and my grandfather took me and my cousins to go see Gremlins. So that's like I was 8 years old around it. I think I was around 7 or 8 years old because that would be 86, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And and he didn't. I don't think he realized what kind of a movie it was. Like, oh, it's just it's these weird little fuzzy creatures, and
I don't think a lot of parents knew what that was. They didn't know what Gremlins were. They didn't know how adult turtles would be, and they sure as shit didn't think Batman would be as violent as that was. The 90s, the 80s and 90s were wild for parents, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was traumatic for us too.
I just want to welcome in Nails47 over on Twitch. First time on the stream. Good to see you. Porkins was 18 and in the Army when the movie came out. But Patrick co-signs on Porkins when he says that to Nails' point, the Deke animation wasn't the greatest there, but the stories were good when it came to those.
And I mean, that was kind of like the end of Deke, really.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they were like a powerhouse in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they did. They did everything. Like they did the littles. They did just. They were all over the place with cartoons back then. So.
Yeah. Oh, but to take your answer home there, I do think HasLabs continue because it's less of a gamble. Like if you launch a HasLab, you've got to spend the money on R&D, which you have to do anyway on a new release, whether it's new molds or electronics, whatever. So you got to spend the money to invest anyway. So that doesn't change. But I can sell that at a higher price point, and I know exactly how many to order with a plus or minus for error. Whereas if I'm doing a normal release of something, no clue. And who knows if I, sell any of them. I mean, the other part too is when they sell something, GameStop's ordering 1,000, so they're selling the 1,000. But now maybe we don't get more. But now you cut out the middleman, make it yourself, sell the exact amount, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was shocked when was it last fall when they did the mystery where we're clearing out our warehouse and then suddenly the packs were available just to buy. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody.
No, makes sense in hindsight. No, knowing that they use some of those on the movie, they always have extra in case they break.
Though, if they ever do that again, I'm making it happen. I'll get a second one and I'll just make it a 84.
I was so mad, but yet happy at the same time that sold out because I didn't. When they announced that they were opening a vault, I remember I did the post and I was like, this is crazy. Like if they do something similar to NECA, because NECA did a vault release. They did it this year and it sucked, but a couple years ago they did it at New York Comic Con and it was great. Yeah. They did it at New York Comic Con and Seth and myself, we were able to pick up like Predator figures from like years ago. They had the Turtle 4-pack from like when they did the concert. So people who like weren't even collecting at that point could buy that. And all that stuff was sold at cost. Like it wasn't, not at cost, at retail. It wasn't, they didn't like blow up the cost or anything like that. It was great. So when Hasbro announced the HasLab Vault, I was like, at the moment, I don't feel like spending $400 on this thing. But I kind of want them to do it.
Well,
I kind of want them to do it.
I'll say this in the chat. Porkins pointed out about I think an 84 pack will be released to go with the 84 wand because let's be honest, that's a pretty solid point because they came up with the Spengler wand and then they offered up the HasLab Afterlife pack. So I mean, there's a lot of sound logic in that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they announce. I know they're gearing up for a Star Wars HasLab right now.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Padawan Collector was posting on his Facebook about that, and I commented. I said, respectfully, as a Star Wars fan, I think you have to be kind of leery of it because they haven't had the best track record with HasLabs. Like maybe every other HasLab they might actually produce or go into production. Because you had Reva's lightsaber like a year ago, and that thing failed miserably. So I mean, it's the Ghost, succeeded, thankfully. I think because of the Rebels fans. Yeah. But I mean, we'll see what they have in mind, and we'll see what happens with it.
They're 3-2 right now. 3-2. So this one, it's either going to tie as a fail, or they're going to be in the green for sure, or the black.
We all know who the winner is. It's G.I. Joe.
Every time.
I mean, they're batting 1,000 right now.
Every time. Every single time.
I mean, I would love to say that, Ghostbusters is in the same boat. We've only had 2. Yeah. We've had 2 offerings. I can't say that we're batting 1,000 because we've only had 2 offerings. Yeah. It's the real test is going to be the next kind of offering that goes out there. I mean, even Marvel's had 1 or 2 fails. I think maybe one fail.
Marvel, the Ghost Rider,
the Vengeance,
Engine of Vengeance failed. Yeah, I feel it's funny. I will now I'll come back to this part. I feel like they've redeemed themselves on this one because of the motorcycle that's coming out. Like oh yeah, I bought it right away. I was like, I'm not even a big Ghost Rider fan, but I was like, this is pretty badass. And I feel like it just,
and I just couldn't.
It'll be in stores. It'll be in stores though.
Oh yeah.
But
I wouldn't mind if there's 3D files for the Engine of Vengeance though. Just saying.
Probably, but they also have the Ramen Toys one for like half the price.
Yeah, because you can. Well, you 3D print it, mod it however you want. You can give Blade his own vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a lot of different chargers. So I mean, you give make a Vin Diesel action figure. He has his charger from Fast and Furious. There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. Family.
So,
but no, so to Porkins' point, this was my idea that I would love them to do, like not a HasLab, but a bare bones pack. I know that there's laws and rules when it comes to releasing things about them being like complete and able to be used, out of the box, stuff like that. But I feel like this is one where it could be some sort of exemption could be placed. I don't know how they can get around it, but just sell a bare bones pack. Like sell it, if you want Hasbro, if you want to save the money, don't even put the wires on it. Like just the pack with the cyclotron that can come off, the electronics on the inside. That's it.
This is a prime time for it, and I'm going to say this why. I'm going to say why, at least in my opinion, my personal opinion. One, you can go through companies like Ben and Kent, which I did, and I love that I could build the basically you can buy part by part or get a kit. It's completely unassembled and you're building it yourself. You're screwing the holes in, you're literally building it part by part. Or Mac Factory, their metal packs and metal wands, they're releasing like part by part by part. Is taking forever. A lot of people are giving up on those. They're selling the parts that they have right now to whomever might want it. That's why we were buying the spirit packs, because it's easy to gut them out. We could put in, I mean, hell, my first spirit was the 70% scale, or 75% scale, and I put GB Fans gear in it.
Yeah.
The electronics that can fit in a full size pack, I made it work. If Hasbro did an offering like, hey, we're gonna run this right now, but also maybe they have the imperfections. Maybe there's a little blemish on it. And they sell those defects. They can make money. They can make up revenue that would normally be written off because of QC issues, right? Hell, even there's people replacing the motherboard, the back of the Proton Pack, with ones that people are making themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing all the props. You're embracing the cosplay life, Hasbro, with HasLabs, because I mean they sell their bread and butter with their Force Effects lightsabers, right? The lightsabers. They proved it with the Proton Packs, and now 2 in a box. They did the Power Rangers line of props. They did some props for Indiana Jones. Why not just fully embrace it and sell individual components? Sell like cheap knockoffs, like extra bumpers. Sell that stuff, because people are making even more insane stuff on Etsy.
Yeah.
So why not make those offerings? You can pull some of that. You might pull some of that business away from Etsy and other retailers or other independent sellers, which I don't always condone. I that's why I like to use Etsy. I like to support individual businesses, but that's something they could do. They could take defects. They could, there's a little scratch here or a little dent here. Well, some of us fans, we like weathered equipment. Say like, we have a limited run of, we have 200 or we have 300 of these defect parts, a defected bumper or the shell itself. Sell those. We'll buy them.
Yeah,
we will.
Yeah,
because you're never done modding your packs, right, Archer?
As you said.
I warned you.
A last question to you as we
I
wrap.
agree, Porkins. He said no more D cells.
Yeah, for sure. So my full size for the moment is done, even though, as you said, it's never really done. But for the moment, I'm wrapped up.
Until the next mod comes out.
Until the next mod comes out, yeah. But I am thinking about leaving it behind for GB Day, just for the sake of, like I said, the bumping around people. I want to document all of it. Like when I go, I don't want to just like take it in just visually. Like I want to get pictures for my website, record video for YouTube, and like having the camera. I mean, thankfully. Oh wait, what?
This is what I use for holding my my iPhone when I'm recording.
Yep. Thankfully, at New York Comic Con, Steve's cousin was there, who I didn't know was coming, and he actually is a photographer. So the reason that at New York Comic Con we were able to get so many dope photos was because he was following us taking photos.
Nice.
Not even planned. It's just coincidence. But prior to that, before I ran into him at the show, when I was trying to walk around it was just too much. I was like, between the wand, the camera, then I had to have a bag for my different lenses. Because the other thing too is, being that it's the 40th anniversary, knowing that there's going to be announcements there, there's going to be celebrity guests there. I was going to go with just one camera lens, but I'm going to have to I got to have my zoom lens in case I'm back somewhere. I want to zoom in on something. I need it. So I'm I'm going to have to switch the pack for a bag.
So I'm not at that point yet, but yeah, I mean, like my little handle, my little, I don't know what you call
the gimbal
this,
handle.
just for the gimbal thing. I actually put a hook on, like a thick hook on here, or ring, so I could attach it to my belt.
Oh, nice.
So this is what was holding this on my belt at New York City Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're a Ghostbuster. You need to record events, right?
Yeah.
There you go. It's canon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I've seen some people rig up GoPros to their. I saw someone rig a GoPro up to their ecto goggles, and one person put it on their pack, so they had like an older over the shoulder kind of view.
Yeah.
Or like make them look like a body cam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if anyone's seen Frozen Empire, now the city is relegating the actions of the Ghostbusters. Well, the next progression could be a body cam.
It's true. That's hilarious. That's true though.
For like insurance purposes, like if Ghostbuster purposely took out somebody's cat or something. I don't know.
Are you gonna take your pack, or your pack staying behind?
No, my both Winona and Old Faithful are staying home. So both packs are staying home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be civilian clothing, but I think I'm gonna bring the uniform just in case, because I may want to take a minute to suit up in case I run into anyone that I know who wants to take a photo. But depending if it's too hot, then I'll probably just gonna leave this at the hotel, and I'll just be in my civilian clothing, because most of my teammates, because after the first year, the second year we went to civilian clothing, because depending on the heat, it's just easier that way,
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this again, you're not prepared for it, because it's a small street. As you've seen, because you were there for the premiere, right?
No, but I had Rambling.
Okay.
Rambling was there.
Okay, so I mean, when it's a side street. It's literally a small street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and everyone's good. People are going to be packed. It's going to be wall to wall people. There's Josh Brown, one of my teammates.
I know that guy.
Yep. One of my teammates. You're going to have ectos up and down the street. You're going to have the fire truck, and a lot of people don't realize they're a functional firehouse, and they do go on calls during Ghostbusters Day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that the truck will leave.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a functional firehouse, and I mean it's going to be a blast. It's the 40th, and this would be my first time seeing the sign hanging the way it was meant to hang.
I've actually never seen it in person, so it'll be the only way I've ever seen it.
Yeah, because for when the sign was first built, they put it right up there, like facing outwards, because they had to figure power.
Yeah.
But the way they have it now, I mean, like, I just can't wait to see it. Oh, there's the Alessi brothers.
I was trying to find the part where you're in suit. I know it's in here somewhere.
If this was last year, then I wasn't. No, I was in suit, I think.
You dressed up at one point.
Yeah. One of my good friends from Daytona Beach Ghostbusters came up, him and his wife. So, we had to kind of like suit up and we did some poses in front of the Ectos, just for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, another Flux pack.
Yep.
I never noticed that in the video.
Yeah, you'll see packs of all kind. I mean, I saw cardboard packs. Yep. Yeah, he's got a full-size flux capacitor mounted on his.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the wedding with another Jason. Got a lot of Jasons in the fandom.
Steve said I made my ex-wife con the mule, the con mule at New York City Comic Con. Oh, that was your ex-wife there? I had no idea. Okay, I had no clue.
Yeah, that was a cute little ceremony because they actually had a remote trap.
Yep.
They had an RTV as a ring bearer.
Oh, funny. She changed the patch.
Yep. Yeah, that was the whole thing because true story, and Jason, I apologize if I embarrass you. He was in the same hotel. He was like, anyone have any duct tape? Anyone have any tape around? I was like, I have hazard tape. So he used some of my hazard tape to put her to put the new name put the name tag over it.
That's funny.
And they were actually giving out those poker chips to everyone who was in attendance.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to get the challenge coin.
Phil's a great vlogger.
Yeah.
Ghost Beacon. It's going to be good to see him there. And if anyone is staying in New York for a couple days, no matter if it's this weekend or any time throughout the year, and you want a Ghostbusters tour, Ecto NJ, Ectotech. That Ecto, they do tours throughout the year around the city. It's worth it. One, to ride around in an Ecto, and two, to see all the sights. It's just a great experience.
Yeah.
And it's comfy.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it this year. I mean, I would love to do it this year, but
yeah,
I figure everybody's going to be trying to do that. So hopefully on a next visit.
Definitely.
See, now I kind of want to bring my pack in.
Well, it's, what I suggest is, like, if you go to New York City, just bring the pack with you on a different occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
I
might do that. I'm going to bring accessories, so at least I'll have like stuff on the belt.
Your PKE, maybe a popcorn trap.
I was debating that. I was debating because I have the AMC one because I don't have a Regal in my area, and I just noticed that she's in like RGB blue. Never caught that. I ended up getting the AMC one because I didn't have Regal. And I kind of like it more than my other trap that I have. I have like some $20 Amazon one. I don't like that
RJ had one.
Yeah. So I don't like that they messed up the lines on the top, which I know people have fixed. But I like the frame of it. Yeah. I like how it's more narrow and more like, I don't know, smaller. But I'll bring my other one that I used last year. Santa Claus.
Yeah, but I mean, like you could do the PKE. You can do a few basics.
Yeah. And I want to bring like patches to trade. Have some stickers.
Yeah, patches, stickers. Business cards.
I gotta get some business cards.
I actually was talking with a buddy of mine. And I was like, Dre. collector safe space. I was telling him because he's doing a Common Rider mashed up with Ghostbusters for
Right.
GalaxyCon, and I told him, I said, well, if we had more time, this is what you really should do. I designed up a little ID badge for him, like a mashed up Ghostbusters ID badge. And I said, if we had more time and resources, we can make a QR code that takes people directly to your link tree.
Yeah.
And then you have that on the back of the name tag, and you just let people kind of scan it with their phones, takes you to their Instagram or their link tree, and there you go. You get your social media passed out that way instead of carrying a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be people trading patches like there's no tomorrow. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
That is a guarantee. I'll tell you that right now.
I was trying to find his. Oh, he doesn't have a 2022? I thought he did. Oh, here it is. Yeah, even watching this one to last year's. Oh, there's Dave again. It's just way more people.
It's getting bigger and bigger each year, and it's insane.
By the way, these are the guys that own and run the Ecto one, if anybody is curious.
Ecto Tech is suiting up right there.
Mm-hmm.
We had an opportunity, me and my wife and one of my teammates, we had an opportunity last fall when we went to NYCC. He was going there, so he actually gave us a lift.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I actually asked him, I said, we asked him, we're like, do the cops ever bug you? Well, and he said, well, they complain when we don't run the lights.
Yeah.
Because, it's the Ecto one. I can't think of any other city where, the cops are like, okay, you have to run the lights. Because technically running those blue lights
it's illegal.
Are illegal.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's just a beautiful car. The floor in the back seat is the river of slime.
Oh yeah,
it has its own little containment unit in there. It's great and comfy for a bunch of people. Nick is the best.
Yeah.
Nick is the best. He's pretty much the guy that kind of runs the liaison between all the Ghostbuster stuff, and he's one of the best people around.
Yeah.
I will say this: if anyone's watching this right now, if you're planning to go to the firehouse, make sure you have cash, because all the t-shirts, beanie hats, patches, pins that the firehouse sells, it's all cash. So there's no apps, there's no credit card reader,
no Apple Pay.
So hit up your ATMs. So I already did that here tonight, and so I have cash for when we hit the city.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where are you staying? Are you staying in Jersey in the city, or are you going and then leaving the same day?
It's literally still to be determined.
Okay.
So what's ruled out so far is Jersey, and going and coming back the same day, I think I've ruled that out. I think I've nailed that down.
Because how are you traveling? Are you traveling like a Greyhound bus or something along those lines?
My Ecto 2, aka the Tacoma.
Oh, so you're driving by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've done it countless times already. And I have some things I have to bring for a friend unrelated to Ghostbusters, so that's where I was like, all right, I might just do that. At one point I was like, oh, I'll take the train, because the train's pretty easy, but because I have to bring them something, I was like, all right, I'll do that. And then because if I drive, I'm on my own schedule. Mm-hmm. I thought I was bringing the Proton Pack, so I'm gonna do that.
And then you would have put the seatbelt over the Proton Pack. We've all done that.
Yeah, actually I did it last weekend.
See?
Yeah, so I might either stay at my parents', or I have one of these hotel apps on my phone, and I have it to let me know if there's any last minute sales that weekend, and then I might do that if there's a place that's near the firehouse. If there's nothing near the firehouse, I'm gonna just stay at my parents' house.
We are staying at the Holland Hotel,
right,
in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
one thing that hotels are infamous for are people who their credit cards are rejected or there's incorrect credit card information, so they wind up being cancellations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, and who knows, you may know people that maybe they have a double, or, you know, someone who's staying and maybe they, you know, the hotel that they're staying at, maybe they can put cots up and stuff. So,
oh no, I
those
have
are always options.
New York City is the hometown. That's where I'm from. So I'll have options.
So,
but it's a matter,
on, right?
yeah, it's just, I'm a last minute person. I always wait till the last second to figure it out. But
listen, that's a YouTuber thing right there.
Yeah.
Because like I'm a fly by the seat of my pants person.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is a person who is meticulously planning things, like, and she doesn't stop planning things.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's,
yeah,
because we're kind of going all out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, tomorrow when we get into the city, we're doing dinner at the Empire State Building. That was her idea.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about a $25 cheeseburger, but you know, she wants to do the Empire State Building, so we're doing that. So,
mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is. And you know, of course, we're going to do probably some sites Saturday after the event itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually the first thing you want to do is kind of cool down. I will say this: there are restaurants around the way, coffee shops and restaurants. If you're trying to hit up their ATMs, I would do it really, really early. And most of the restaurants and places around there, you have to be a paying customer to use the restrooms. That's another thing people don't realize. They, you know, it's not like we can put porta potties in every corner.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got 350 people, well, that's a whole other situation right there.
Yep. Yeah.
So
that's kind of also why I wanted to, if I do get a deal on a hotel, get something nearby, because then, you know, like I can leave stuff there, and then if I have to use the bathroom, go there. But at the same time, like I know where I can use the bathroom in New York City, so I'm not like too concerned with it.
Well, like that's why I like staying where we stay in Jersey, because like it's not even a 10-minute Uber ride over.
Yeah, you're right there. Through a tunnel. Yeah.
To the house, to the firehouse right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
I will say this: if anyone's listening, the event is from 12 until 2. There's no need to be there super early. A lot of people tend to try and get there like at 10 or 11. Nothing's going to be there. The firehouse is still a functional firehouse, so you know nobody's going to be setting anything up early. Parking on that street is going to be reserved for all the ectos that we have coming in. So, because sometimes you get people who, you know, they're like, oh, I'm just going to go there real early and park their cars. You can't do that because they're reserved. So, and also it is a, you know, like I said, it is a functional firehouse. So there's going to be times when they need to pull the fire truck out and go away. You know, it's a thing.
Yeah. Go do the thing.
Just like I tell people year round. I mean, yes, you can go to the firehouse, you can knock on the door, but if the main garage door is closed, odds are the truck is probably gone and everyone's kind of gone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be an amazing event.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I mean, HeyArcher is going to be there.
Yeah. You know, as I've discussed before, as a New Yorker, I'm embarrassed to say I've never been there, but I think all of us can relate to the fact of whatever city you're from, whatever city you live in, a lot of times you probably skip the tourist things because you're like, I'm not a tourist, I'm too cool for it. So
no, that's true.
Yeah.
I live, you know, where I live in Buffalo, right? I live, you know, a stone's throw away kind of from Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until the year we got married, my wife's aunts and uncle came to visit from Michigan. And they're doing Made of the Mist. They're like, oh, you guys have probably done this before. My wife's like, no, I've never done that. And then they look at me. I'm like, no, I've never done that. Lived in the area all my life. There's still stuff that you haven't done. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always tourist stuff that you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Nice. Well, can't wait to meet you in person. Can't wait to meet a whole bunch of you guys in person. It's gonna be a good time. Again, 12 to 2 Eastern. is the time of the event. Don't be early. Definitely don't be late, though. Just be on time. Be like a wizard. Show up just when you have to.
You wizard, Harry. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff I don't even know about.
Yep.
So you never know what's gonna happen. You just never know. And I mean, come on, it's New York City. You never know who's gonna walk by.
Yeah,
there's been a couple of years where, like, like the day before, you see someone famous just walking down the street.
Yeah,
and I mean, hey, before he joined for Afterlife, Paul Rudd was a big
across the street
fan. So I mean, you just never know who's gonna show up, and with it being the 40th, anything goes.
Yeah. Shout out to Amanda, first time in the chat. She says, does the subway still allow you to get subway cards, or is it all apps now? We just got into town from North Carolina, and we know the Metro, staying in Newborough, Deacon to Grand Central, but don't know about the subway. Yeah, so you can... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I know that the Metro cards are still a thing.
Yep.
At least for the next year or two, I believe. And then what is it called? Omni, I think the app is called.
Yeah, so I heard you guys mention that app, and it is an app that they use. Honestly, the last like 5 years, every time I go back home to visit, I use Apple Pay because I don't want to say all, like, I don't know if you go out into the sticks somewhere, if all of the booths take it, but all of the booths I've used in Harlem, downtown Manhattan, I just double tap, go through. I haven't bought a physical Metro card in a long time. However, here's Louis, because Louis lives in New York. He says, yes, there are cards. No need to use your phone. All right. So yeah. So if you don't want to use your phone, you don't have to. I do remember tokens as well, Porkins. I used to have a lot of tokens. Oh shit. What was I saying? Oh, my suggestion would be, and I'm probably not going to follow my own advice and regret it, but my suggestion is, if you're going to be doing the tour after the events at the Firehouse are done, I would buy a Metro card with at least one-way fare, so that if you leave the tour and you guys run into a situation where a subway booth or the turnstiles do not take Apple Pay or your phone pay or the Omni app, you at least have a backup card to use. And then when you get off at the next station, re-up that card. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I think we still have some money left on our card from last year. But yeah,
probably
the
worth
Metro
nothing now because they keep raising the fare.
Yeah, well, everywhere does that.
Yeah.
I will say this: anyone who's planning on doing the walking tours, if you're going to be in uniform, you're wearing boots, get some nice, comfy, supportive insoles. Because you will be walking a lot, walking up and down the stairs to the trains. By the time you get back, you're going to feel spent. One of my teammates did the walking tour with his pack.
I thought about it.
So imagine doing that. It was like 90 degrees. Imagine doing that. You're walking with everyone else, so everyone is bumping into each other. And imagine wearing the pack in the train, and there's wall-to-wall people.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his boots. By the time like he got pretty close to our hotel, he was by the train station and just feeling spent. So we actually my wife ran over with our car and we picked him up to take him back to the hotel. So save him about a 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's the thing. You're walking all over New York City. You want to wear some comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
And those, I know people who still have sneakers from the 35th. In LA, there was a Reebok was doing these special edition shoes, and some people will wear them sparingly, and some people will wear their Ghostbuster shoes, and sometimes Reebok does occasional Ghostbuster themed stuff. So
yeah,
make sure you got something comfy on your feet, man.
Yeah, it's funny because of the tour. That's also affecting my decision as to where I may stay, because where the tour ends is actually way closer to my mom's apartment than the firehouse. So I'm like, oh, if I do the day and then do the tour, by the time the tour's done and everybody disperses, I'm closer to home than not. But then I'm like, oh, but then what if like people are like, oh, let's go out for beers or something? Now I'm going back downtown.
Mom know you're coming?
Yeah, I told her.
Okay, I was gonna say knocking the door. She's like,
hey,
what? Who?
Yeah,
who
but
is that?
In the Puerto Rican household, that's just what you do. You just walk through a door and they're like, oh, it's you. That's what you do.
There you go.
But hey, Dave, I appreciate you stopping by, doing the special with me.
Of course.
And thank all of you for stopping by, hanging out with us. As we say every week before we head out for the day, Dave, plug yo shit.
Okay, Dave's Dimension, channel where chaos and insanity reigns supreme. As of late, I've been doing reviews. Actually been covering Doctor Who lately, which has been very interesting. I had a video drop today on the previous episode, and then last week's episode actually drops tomorrow. I also have another video you guys might want to check out that's dropping. I think I'm going to drop that Saturday or Sunday. So I got videos dropping all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we have our Tuesday night live streams. If you're a content creator, whether you're on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, even if you have an Etsy store, you want to promote it, you want to get your word out, just message me at Dave's _dimension on Instagram, or email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com, and we'll set up a Tuesday night where you can come on, and it's all about you. It's all about growth. It's all about getting the word out. So
yeah,
the Tuesday night lives, Tuesday night talks have been actually very good.
Yeah,
it seems like a pretty good fit, and I welcome anyone and everyone on there. So if you have something to promote, that's the place to be. Just come on. And also, I'm actually one away from 2,300.
You're already there.
Am I?
Yeah, it says 2.3 on here.
Oh. I thank you, and I thank the American people. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, cool. I've been telling my wife, I was like, it'd be cool if I could break 23 before GB Day.
There you go.
And then I was like, wait a minute. I looked at the numbers about a week ago. I was like, oh, this could happen.
It could happen.
Now, if only I could use those powers for good, like the lottery. If only I hit the lottery. No, it doesn't work that way. Thanks for having me on, Archer, and looking forward to seeing you Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to message you about something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. And then, as Dave mentioned at the top, I don't have it pulled up. I should do that. Shout out to the Buffalo Ghostbusters again. They are organizing all of this. Dave is a member of the Buffalo Ghostbusters. So everything that you are putting your money in for raffle, for auction, even the walking tour, which is the New York Ghostbusters, but same concept. Everything that you spend is donated. It's actually not, these are not money grabs by anybody.
Nope.
Again, it's cool that Sony actually lets everybody do this, which is in itself wild. But
yep, it's for the it's not going to come on camera, but it's for the Tunnel to the Towers Foundation.
Exactly.
For 9/11. So and those that don't know, Hook and Ladder 8, they actually, I believe they lost the most members
on 9/11. Yeah.
On 9/11. So I mean, it's something very near and dear to everyone's heart, and especially to Hook and Ladder 8, to the firehouse.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's each year there's been a great cause that we found, and this year, I mean, it's just that's what Ghostbusters is about. Sometimes
it just makes sense.
Stuff goes wrong. Who are you going to call? And it's you, the fans, who've answered the call. And I mean, the amazing, like, there's autographed posters up for grabs. There's a HasLab Proton Pack. There's 2 Neutrona wands. There's the 3D printed firehouse. There's auctions going on. Signed Funko Pops of Bob Gunton, who is actually the stand-in actor for Ghost Egon from Afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the guests we're going to have there, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
And of course, the coins.
Yeah.
The challenge coin that was created for this year, it is a one-time. You have to be there in person. No online orders, but again, all the proceeds go to go to the tunnel to the towers. I mean, everything goes directly to them. So,
and if you are somebody who wants to win the skins from Spirits Unleashed, learn from my dumbass, and you have to take a selfie with Sam Hain, not in the game, but in real life at the event. So
there will be a Sam Hain there, guys. So yeah.
I messaged Dave. I was like, "Where do I upload my picture from the game?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" so there's that. It's gonna be a good time. Unlike the premiere, where as a reminder, when the premiere happened, we had postings up and down the wazoo. We had a man on the ground there, but sadly, I will be the man on the ground this time, and I probably won't be able to take pictures, videos, and post at the same time. So we may not be posting as frequently during the day. I will try my best, but make sure you follow Dave at Dave's Dimension. You follow Nerd Affiliated, The Real Nerdbusters, The Buffalo Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters News. Hell, just follow the hashtag. Yeah, Ghost Beacon. Between all of us, Experience Explorers, between all of us, you will find Dorkverse will be there. You'll find content throughout the day between all of us that.
And I'm sure one or two people may even be live streaming it either YouTube or Facebook or something. So
yeah,
you'll find plenty of content, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's surprises that nobody is even aware of. I might know a few things, but I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Yeah, I mean, we're so close. You might as well just wait.
Yeah, I mean it's what, 2 days away? No,
again,
a day and a half.
That's why I want to bring my zoom lens, because just in case I'm far away from things that are happening, I want to be able to swap that lens, zoom in.
Now, do you have like an actual camera, or is this like a special lens you put on your phone?
Oh no, I have a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
so
Arch is all fancy. He's got that DSLR.
Yeah, mirrorless.
Mirrorless. Ooh, ah.
Yeah. So like so what I was gonna do, and then I'll wrap the episode. I keep saying that. What I was gonna do was I've been using a smaller lens than this, so that this is much lighter to carry around. So I was gonna just use that and just take photos, and it's been also like a test for our honeymoon coming up, that I can just take one lens and get the most out of just one lens.
Is that for the Only Archers page?
Exactly. But the thing is that for an event like this, like if I went to a wedding as well, like you got to be able to zoom in from time to time, because no matter where you're stationed, you got to get the shot. So I was like, for this, I got to bring my telefocal as well. So because of that, that's where I'm like, sadly, I think old girl back there is going to have to stay behind, but I'll figure it out.
No, because I asked because I was talking to a friend of mine who does photography. She actually has a special lens that she can connect onto her iPhone case.
Yes. Yeah.
And it'll do that kind of stuff. I'm like, that might be an investment down the line.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I tell everybody, like, the best phone is the phone in your pocket. Like, it's iPhones and Androids now are like so good. Like,
but if you're doing like a 5-hour stream, you might not want to burn your phone up like that.
That's the thing. It's like having something separate to that they don't interfere. That's part of the issue. So, but yeah, thank you, Dave. Thank you everybody who showed up today. Welcome to all the new subscribers and viewers. If you've not done so, leave a like on the way out. Hey, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button on the way out. We greatly appreciate it. And you just zoomed in on your face.
By accident.
Love that.
I love the Elgato webcam.
There you go. Geek Strong in the house. Good to see you. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15 p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Wow, we went for 2 hours today. That's crazy.
There you go.
Hopefully.
And no mention of X-Men?
No mention of X-Men, yeah. Or Star Wars. It's crazy. Hopefully this Monday, Nerdy Coffee comes back. If not, I will figure out a time to
work
do some.
Schedule?
Yeah, work, life, all that stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
But HeyArcher Live remains the same. Stay tuned once again for Ghostbusters Day updates between all of our channels, between friends of the channels. Like I said, Dave, Experience Explorers, Ghostbusters News, Extraplasm, everybody, Buffalo Ghostbusters, all going to be there taking photos, taking videos. So follow for that. Like, comment, subscribe. And Dave, why don't you take us out what you normally say?
Guys, you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busting. We're always going to catch you on that flip side. Take care, guys.
Peace. We're out of here.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Yeah, come on, push a button. Push a goddamn button.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.